Sweet, looks like we are on air. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. This is your boy Narik Chase, and in this video, we are on episode 25 of the Streamline Podcast. I am continuing on with another video about the worst films in TV history and how much they suck. Now, when I say these movies are bad, I don't mean they're like the worst of the worst. Even though on this list there are some movies on here that are the worst of the worst. But some of the movies are movies that could have been done a bit better, but they still sucked. But let's go ahead and get into it. First on the list right now is Birdemic: Shock and Terror. I realized that this was kind of a project for someone because of how poor, because of the low budget. But also the undertones and the message that the movie was trying to send. I mean, the movie could have actually hit those messages had it been a decent movie. And for the movie, for where the direction that they were going, because they were talking about, treating the planet right and recycling and caring about the environment and things like that. You didn't need to have birds going crazy as crap, killing people, to have that as an actual, to use that to promote it. No, the movie honestly was just bad. Audio was bad. There was moments you can tell that the audio quality just dropped just dramatically. The characters were just stupid. The performances were lackluster. Just overall the movie and the CGI graphics and all were just whoo. Not gonna touch that. This movie is literally like one of the movies that is like the worst. Like, nobody should ever watch this. And I'm sorry for the people that made it, but I'm sorry. It's the movie that was sucked that bad. And I hope no one ever watches that movie ever again. Okay, I know I'm not. But having said that, we have The Cult of Chucky. That movie was an interesting idea. I appreciated the idea for it because basically Chucky in this movie is jumping into is being able to split himself amongst different bodies, which was actually a great premise. That was an interesting premise, and we definitely would have done something to take the series in a new direction. However, the execution, not so much. The execution just sucked. Yes, it's focusing on Charles Lee Ray's daughter. Now, I will admit, I know people don't like the fact that he kind of gave like a reason as to how everything built up into the first movie. Me personally, I didn't really have too much of a problem with that. I actually thought that was kind of a good story to me personally. And not to mention, she looks just like him. I mean, actually, that's Brad Dourif's sister, his daughter, so the wonder she looks like him. But, Chucky coming after her again. Don't understand why he would come after her again. It really didn't make sense or anything, but it's just the movie. Like, it's that one thing is low budget. Another thing, the characters, the writing, just almost everything about the movie was bad, except for the little sliver of few enjoyable moments that I had with it, especially the premise. But Cult of Chucky was just something that somebody who actually gave a damn about the series and wanted to revive it should have took pride in doing. But as far as what we get now, we have House of the Dead 2. House of the Dead 1 was stupid outside of that one action sequence that they had in the movie, and in this one, it was just as dumb. Especially the premise that these zombies evolved to eat through like harder material like armor or stuff, and I'm like thinking to myself, why would they evolve to eat through harder material when most of their like victims don't wear that material? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Whoever thought of that premise was stupid. And honestly, that whole House of the Dead, the first movie had more of a House of the Dead feel to it than this movie. This movie felt like a Return of the Living Dead type thing. And yes, there is a difference, but I have nothing to say about House of the Dead 2. It was a dumbass movie. This movie was like trash, and I'm going to speak on it not only from like a movie critiquer, reviewer standpoint, but I'm going to talk about it because I'm like a black man. Soul Plane, stupid movie. Every stereotype you can ever possibly imagine was in this damn movie. The jokes were dumb. They were stupid. I could understand a comedy about a dude that ends up, basically having his own airport or something like that. Fine, I'm all for that. The hijinks and stuff that can ensue, I can see the humor behind that. But to have this be like this hood movie is just ridiculous. Now I understand that they were trying to, appeal to a certain demographic, but that a dumb movie is the dumb movie, and this was one of the reasons why I was very slow to get on the train with Kevin Hart, because that movie just sucked. But as ran over for that one. We have next The Huntsman, Winter's War. This movie could have been better, especially the fact, these are some things about the movie that I did not like. For one thing, I didn't mind the Ice Queen. I didn't mind her story, kind of. I didn't mind Chris Hemsworth and Justin Chastain's story. The dwarves, okay, fine. But they're trying to find this mirror. But there was really no stakes. There was this mirror is evil, and it's nothing happened. The mirror wasn't causing the world to end or anything like that. Yes, at the end of the movie, Charlize Theron's character came back, and I loved her character from the first movie, which really had no reason to be back in this movie. I don't give a damn what anyone says. Because she literally came back in the last 20 minutes of the movie. No, if she would have came back, if the whole movie was this, Charlize Theron got brought back by Emily Blunt at the beginning of the movie, or at least 2/4 into the, you know what I'm saying, the second act of a 4-act movie. Then okay, fine, she would make more sense for her character to be in the movie. But in this movie, she was in the movie, and then not only because Ice Queen was a bad chick, basically, but then it just flipped on her, and it's is the Ice Queen the bad chick or not? I mean, she becomes kind of a sympathetic character, but everything is eclipsed by the fact that Charlize Theron's character just comes back into this movie. And I admit she did some pretty cool stuff, but they're gonna do stuff like that. They should have took that, put it in the first movie, and let the Ice Queen have her movie. But it was the story and the writing. I did like Chris Hemsworth and Justin Chastain, and I did like the dwarves. I thought they were awesome, but everything else in the movie just kind of sucked. It would have worked more as pretty much a love story than a damn action adventure or whatever the hell it was. Not to mention the Huntsman kind of sucked in this movie. Now, I talked about some of the other movies on this series in the other video, but I'm going to go ahead and go back to it. Superman 3. The whole premise of this movie was just dumb. Whoever wrote this, if they have never written a movie again, I'm sorry, I'm happy for them, because this movie was dumb. I like Richard Pryor. I think the guy's funny. He was annoying as hell in this movie. The bad guys sucked in this movie. The writing sucked in this movie. The story sucked in this movie. Everything about this movie sucked. I mean, honestly, everything about it sucked. Even this one part where Richard Pryor skis off the top of one of the tallest buildings in the city, I guess, falls all the way down, lands while wearing skis, lands on the window ceiling thing, and then slides to the ground. No freaking problem. I'm like, no, that dude should have went through that glass, and he should have broke every bone in his body, and all his organs should just burst from impact. But no, that movie, and then he's supposed to be some hacker, and he didn't know nothing about computers, and then ended up becoming a master hacker in 5 minutes. I'm like, who the hell wrote this? Especially the goofy intro. I mean, this movie just, if there was any movie out that series that they should just rip from the history, it should have been that one. That should have been the one that there shouldn't be no Superman 3. It should be Superman 1, 2, and 4. But I have nothing else to say about Superman 3. It's a big disappointment. It pissed me the hell off. Starship Troopers Marauder. I hate that movie. It was stupid. Yes, the story was kind of interesting. But whoever just thought it was a great... Whoever was director and writer, no. They completely killed it. Look, I'm one of those guys, I can get past the crappy CGI. Crappy CGI don't make a movie. But It's your story, your characters. Marauder, stupid story, stupid characters. Everything about that movie was dumb. Next subject. G.I. Joe Retaliation. Now, this is the one thing that I didn't like about Retaliation. It felt like, it honestly felt like an episode because of how gimmicky things were. Look, the best thing about Retaliation, the absolute best, the two absolute best things that came out of Retaliation was Jinx and Cobra Commander. Those are the only two things about Retaliation that I actually liked. Or three, because that ultimate doomsday weapon thing that they had at the end was awesome. That was like badass. But look, one thing I didn't like about it was the Duke character ended up dying, but I was like, well, what was the point of him being in the movie? He's going to die at the beginning. It's kind of stupid. If he was off on some other mission and he didn't show up in the movie, okay, fine, I'm good with that. But he literally showed up at the beginning of the movie and then died. It's like, what's the point of him being written in the movie then? But if it would have followed a different squad or something, that would have made more sense. But another thing that I didn't like about it was some like the whole story behind Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes. If it was done better, because RZA should not have been in this damn movie. I don't know what his problem is thinking he can act. He's a terrible actor. It just is. And everything I see this man, he freaking sucks. But like that whole storyline could have been done a hell of a lot better. Because I'm all for that storyline. Because like it's an interesting idea, but the execution sucked. Their fight sucked. The whole mountain thing was pretty cool. I'll give them that. That whole mountain chase fight sequence was actually pretty badass. What was another thing about the movie that actually... Look, The Rock was pretty cool. I mean, he looked like he belonged in a G.I. Joe movie. Bruce Willis had no reason to be in this damn movie whatsoever. I'm sorry. I love Bruce Willis, but no. This is one of the movies I'm like, you're an age, you don't need to be playing this role. Give it to somebody else. And then the whole... like climactic battle at the end pissed me off because it felt like a freaking episode. They undid everything Cobra Commander had took years and years to establish in like one day. And I was like, no. Even the part with that they were dropping these giant rods that flew at a certain velocity to the ground to the point that wherever they hit created like a massive shockwave that acted like a earthquake. Badass idea. See, magnifique, sweet. And even how they got rid of like all of the nukes was actually kind of clever. I'll give them that. But it's like, what was it? He went over there, pressed the button at the end of it, pressed the button, and then the satellite thing blew up. And I'm like, that's a cartoon. There's no way it was self-destructive. Like, no! How in the world? So they undid everything that Cobra Commander had put up in like one battle, and they only took like in their time probably like an hour. But okay. The Purge. I didn't like The Purge mostly because I didn't like the family, and I didn't like the black dude aspect because like they seem like they would have been good individual movies, but since they put them together, you don't like the family as much because of the black guy's more the sympathetic character. But you want to kind of root for the family during the initial stages of it until they literally start doing some of the dumbest shit. Like that, and it wasn't even the dad or the mom because the dad is a douchebag because he wants to protect his family. He don't want his family to deal with this situation. But like the kids are idiots. The kids did everything they could to get that family killed. Could not stand them. So, I mean, The Purge was like a good idea. But it's just the writing and the family and if the movie would have followed the black dude having to deal with the purge, fine, it would have been a good movie by itself. If it was just that family having to deal with the purge, fine, it would have been a better movie. But to have the black dude come to the family's house, and what got me is it's like, did he go to? I don't even remember him going to any other person's house. But okay, we have The Mummy that came out last year. I like the idea that they were kind of going with the whole Princess Amunet and her story and everything. Although I was pissed off they didn't give enough exposition on her character to make her more sympathetic. But the whole thing about the mummy that ruined it was not the. I mean, aside from the fact that it was an action movie, not an action movie, it was a movie that had too many things going for it. Was Tom Cruise, and I love Tom Cruise, but he should not have been in the movie. It was the guy Jake Johnson? It should have been his character. Because after he dies in the beginning of the movie, it's like no reason for him to be in a damn movie. Although he's in the movie for like comedy relief. So I was disappointed about that. I did love Princess Amunet. She was freaking awesome. Don't care what no one says. She did some pretty, like out of all the Mummy movies that I've seen, which is basically the Mummy, the Mummy Returns, and the Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, and there was like two other older ones, but I don't remember them. She actually brought like a horror, like old school horror element to it. So I really like that about a character. But everything else pretty much about the movie was just, I don't know what to say. Whoever thought, I'm sorry, Tom Cruise, you made the movie bad. On Stranger Tides. One of the things I didn't like about On Stranger Tides was, again, Jack Sparrow's too goofy. He should show some kind of development. Look, everybody loves his character, but you can't go through the same. You can't act the same way in every freaking movie. Neo was in all three of the Matrices. In every movie, he grew. Because his understanding of the Matrix changed in some kind of way. Jack Sparrow knows exact same. I like the idea of Angelique. I think she was actually a pretty cool character. She didn't get enough screen time. She didn't have enough to do in the story. Barbossa, love Barbossa, shouldn't have been in the movie. Should not. Just complete shoe-in just to satisfy fans. And then, of course, Blackbeard. The thing about me that got me about Blackbeard was he's just such an underutilized character. He's supposed to be the most badass, most feared pirate of all pirates. And he does not do anything. Captain Salazar did a hell of a lot more than Blackbeard. Of course, Davy Jones Barbossa did more than Blackbeard. Everybody in the series, the damn parrot did more. The damn parrot and the monkey named Jack, they did more than Blackbeard, and that's what made which kind of ruined the movie for me with Stranger Things. And plus, the whole Fountain of Youth thing, they could have did something better with that. It's just two chalices and that little. Come on now, look. I understand that they were, I guess, trying to go for something a little bit majestic or something, but they could have did a bit more better job with that. They could have. They honestly could have. And if Blackbeard is going to have these voodoo powers, let him use the fucking voodoo powers. Should have been in the damn movie. I was watching Jaws of Revenge, realized I didn't like it because, one, it was just a dumbass movie. This woman, the dude's wife from the first movie, has a psychic link with the sharks, the Jaws shark, that's actually literally hunting her family lineage. Need I say more? And then, of course, you know, they're trying to spit out the movies. And this is when animatronics weren't that good. So it looks shitty now. It looks completely shitty now. So Jaws Revenge, woo. Yes. Leprechaun 4 in Space. If they would have actually gave a damn about the movie, it probably would have been better. That movie was shitty from start to end. I can't think of any good moment in this movie whatsoever freaking ever. Whoever thought it was a great idea, they suck. I'm just going to leave it at that. That was just a dumbass movie. And then especially the little one part where he pulled out the lightsaber out of his cane. And I was like, wow. So that's where we're going to go with this. Fine. Okay. Rush Hour 3. This is my problem with Rush Hour 3. It felt like it focused too much on comedy. And it focused too much on Lee's character. If you watch all the Rush Hour movies, most of the stories have something to do are based around Lee's character, and he's a cool character, but it's like, how can you have these two characters and then everything that happens is based around the one character? So I didn't really like that aspect of it, and I didn't like all the comedy because it felt like there was just too much comedy. You couldn't take it seriously, and plus, if they're going to go up against the triads, I think that this story might actually need to be a little bit more serious. I was going back, I was watching Little Monsters, And it was something I liked as a kid, and I watched it. I was like, this is a shitty movie. This is definitely one of those movies like they need a remake for. If there's something they need like CGI and all of that stuff for, yeah, Little Monsters is definitely that movie. They definitely need to remake that one. A Haunted House 2. My thing is about, look, I like the first Haunted House. I thought it was funny and I thought it was scary. They tried too hard with this one. Way too hard. And then the whole thing with him having sex with that stupid doll, and then they ran it on for like 10 minutes, it felt like, was just crappy. Just that movie the Haunted House 2 just should not. If there was one movie that was trying to ride the success of the first movie, that was it. Avalanche Shark, low budget movie about sharks that are in the ice. Need I say more? And of course, I'm going to say this. I know people like this, and it's got a cult classic, but it's The Crow. Didn't like The Crow. Didn't like any of the characters. I didn't feel that this character was out for revenge. It seemed like he didn't take it seriously. And I'm not going to blame it on the actor. I'm going to blame it on the writer and the director. Because if I get killed and you kill my girlfriend and I'm coming back for you, I'm coming back like the Punisher. I'm not coming back to quote poetry and play nice. And who the hell were these bad guys that he was killing anyway? I don't even know who the hell these guys were. Yeah, but, you know, outside, I mean, really the only two characters was the young girl that he met and then the guy that's on Ghost, but the cop guy. Those are the only two characters I actually liked in the movie. Everybody else, even the main guy, didn't like him because, again, like I said, I don't know who the hell this guy was, didn't know who the hell his girlfriend was, why she even care about him, and I didn't like, and the bad guys. Well, let me correct myself. The main bad guy actually was cool because he actually had personality. That's why I liked him. He was pretty cool. And plus he had that really memorable deep voice. But anyways, guys, that's the end of my list of worst films ever. I might come up with another list. But anyways, let me know in the comment section below what movies that you didn't like or hate or thought they could have worked out better. And also tell me your ideas on the ones that I listed here. Be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, and the notification button to get the best of what's going on the Narik Chase channel. And remember, guys, Tuesdays and Thursdays, videos will be uploaded. So get ready and stay tuned. And we'll definitely catch you guys later. Peace.